Good morning. So, as you know, we had a wonderful discussion in our premium members group about problems. And problems are different for different people. For some people, it's just a challenge. For some people, it's a way of life. For some people, they don't exist, they're just an issue. For some people, it's a way to grow in life. It could be different for different people. A lot depends upon how and what you interpret or how you perceive a problem. And that creates a background for the solution. Some time back, I had two people struggling with each other, fighting with each other, arguing with each other in my space. And I found it a little disturbing. So I meditated and checked why is that happening? And I meditated and I saw a metaphor of kitten fighting with each other. And I was asked, do you get disturbed looking at kittens fighting with each other? And I said, no. Why? Because it's their way of growth. That's how they grow. That's how they learn. That's how probably they develop their muscles. And immediately the inner voice said, what makes you say that these people are not doing the same? They seems to be grown up, but there is a child in you always alive, and that's a way they have chosen to grow. Well, that was an interesting perspective to the problem, because several times we believe that if there is no problem, you probably would stagnate. And that's why when life is amazing, everything is working very well, and there something crops up again for you to handle the matter and create again the whole scenario where you have to fight it out, work it out, struggle it out, and then you're into another cycle. And you would have seen that several times. I've often seen when people are fully resolved and everything is working so beautifully, suddenly they manifest a problem. And several times the number of challenges go higher and higher and higher based on their ability to cope up with that. Not everybody can cope up. Some of them just succumb, and some of them even resign. Some of them feel even depressed. The reactions can change. Now, what defines the level of problems and what defines the way you solve the problems? That would be your level of evolution. If your level of evolution is at root chakra, that is the survival game, you tend to either fight and struggle your way out and sort it out fully, or you may flight, and if you can't handle it, still better, you may go into playing dead syndrome, and that is feeling depressed when you can't fight or you cannot flight. When you're at a sacral chakra, where prime objective is comfort and pleasures and being away from pain, the way to sort it out is to avoid pain and seek pleasure. So you actively work around to make sure that you get minimum or no pain and nobody gets pain out of it. Or you may go and search for pleasures and escape the pain and search for pleasures in, at times, not so healthy ways. Or you turn simply indifferent and say, I don't care. I don't feel hurt. I don't get anything. Let it happen. I mean, I'm indifferent. I don't care. There's a very thin line between being detached and I don't care, because I don't care and indifference will not let you address the problem proactively. If you're detached, you'll still address the problem and not get emotionally affected. If you are at solar chakra, the problems would be more associated with control stories and power stories. And the way to deal with it would be actively take control or escape that out of fear. Either you go aggressively out to make sure that you have your powers back, control back, boundaries in place, or you simply escape and be anxious, be worried, go into your shell, or even have a nervous breakdown. If you're at a heart chakra, your major problems are in and around relationships. Basically, you want your relationships to work very well. So you may go all out, loving and forgiving everyone if you're in a fight mode or active mode. Or you may just wall up and protect yourself and remain a kind of unavailable to your relationships. And that's how you solve the problem. If you're at throat chakra, the problem could be generally related to your honor, respect, maligning, issues related to defamations or tainted prestige, goodwill, etc. If you're in a fight mode, you're more likely to make sure that you restore your wounded honor. And if you're in a flight mode, you might just retreat in a shell and not show your face once again to people who maligned you or to people who you think thinks ill of you. So that's a way you protect yourself. If you are at third eye, the problems will not be so much personal, but related to larger visions, larger implementations, your projects, your ideas, your vision, your goal. The way to deal with it proactively would be to address a situation with a greater vision, the greater creativity, or just close down all that you had start off, forget about all your dreams, smash your ideas, and get on with life. That's a very passive way of doing it. And when you're at a crown chakra, you generally know that it's your story. You are the problem, and the problems are you. You manifest it, it's your extension, it's your projection. If I shift something within me, it will work around for me. So you don't really try and fix things outside. You generally turn some of those programming and convert it into your favor. And that's about it. At whatever level you are, the solution is not at that level. And Einstein had said that. So if you have a root chakra problem, the survival stories, etc., figure out the ways to enjoy your life. Enjoy your problem. Start taking interest into the intricacies of the story. Create a passion towards whatever's been happening and look at it with fun and joy instead of getting sucked into it. And you'll figure your way out. If you're stuck in pain and pleasure story, take charge of your life and start flowing, because you will remain stuck oscillating between avoidance of pain and going towards the pleasure, and eventually nothing would work right. Start either flowing or being in charge, or be in charge and flow. If you are at the solar level and caught up in a power struggle, control games, and stories like that, the way to overcome is through your love. Love people, love yourself, love the situation, forgive people, forgive yourself, and forgive all created stories. Issues started at solar level can seldom be corrected at solar level because there's going to be a retaliation and intimidation. The moment you fight it out, then others would want to fight it out, and we can continue the war, the power game. the power struggle, the control game for years together without any solution till the time one person raises the consciousness and looks at it from the higher perspective. The next one is at the throat chakra. So issues created at throat chakra level where the honor story is a big challenge. You can go to the next chakra, be creative, be more imaginative, think laterally, and complete your dreams, ideas, and visions, implement your plans, make a big name for yourself. Don't fight and sit back and keep explaining how respectable you are and what's being told about you is not your story. You've been maligned and you've been, framed unnecessarily. People have short memory, they forget. If there is a darkness, you only look for the light and not fight with the darkness. Same way, if there are unhappy scenarios, maligning people around you, or dishonoring people around you, the way to restore is not by fighting with them, but by figuring out how do you do something that restores your self-honor for yourself. And when you start honoring yourself, everything else works out beautifully. And when you're at the third eye level chakra, sure, you're busy doing things so that you can be what you wanted to always be. The trick is not to struggle too much, trying to do things. Start being what you ever wanted to be by doing what you're doing. And when you start being, things get done by you being you. That's an amazing way of handling the whole challenge that you create at the third eye level. For that, you require a certain level of evolution to understand what I'm talking about. However, just keep these few words in mind, and when you read that, you'll have a clue. And when you're at crown level, interestingly, the grounding is needed to make sure that you live life 100%. And that's the way you go about. Try not to solve the problem at the same level of consciousness. Raise your consciousness, and problems will no longer be your problems. They will be interesting puzzles to solve and to evolve during the journey called life. If you want to learn more about chakras, a practical curriculum, and we'll teach you how you can evolve step by step with chakra knowledge and with a lot of life lessons in and around chakra. Thank you so much and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.